Hello, good morning, and welcome to my session. Just adaptive bridging ability and activity with assistive technology and adaptive PE. So, just a quick little bit about me before I get started. I'm an adaptive PE teacher out in Virginia, Alexandria, Virginia, just outside of DC. Um, and I'm going to find out next month. I'm one of four finalists to become the National Adaptive PE Teacher of the Year, which is exciting. So I'll find out if I get that next month at the national conference. Yeah, I teach adaptive PE. I've also worked as a special ed teacher, a PE teacher, and I started as an IA. And I first came over to America to work on a summer camp with kids with special needs and as an adventure sports instructor. And it just completely changed my life. And I met my wife the first day in America, and then I've got into this like whole new profession, which I've been doing since 2011. I'm also a coach. I coach soccer and pickleball mainly, but I've also done a bit of basketball, although I'm terrible at basketball. But so I love to do that too. I'm a family guy. I've got two kids, 8 and 5 year old boys, and a wife who we've been together 14 years now, and two dogs. One dog and two cats. So I'm big into sports and fitness. I'll do boot camps, spin, yoga, and then I play pickleball. And I've also just started to play underwater rugby as well, which is it's a bit of a niche sport, but I love it. It's basically a load of snorkelers fighting over a ball at the bottom of a pool. So that's a lot of fun. And then I love to travel the world. I've probably been to about 40 countries and go to see like live music and sports and just enjoy my time off when I'm not working. So none of my pictures are showing up, but there's a quote from like an IBM manual, and it's something like, "For people without disabilities, technology makes things easier. For people with disabilities, technology makes things possible." And I think that's a really like nice intro quote, but it's not showing on my presentation for some reason. And then I also wanted to show you this video. So this is an adaptive baseball unit I did about probably 3 years now, 3 years ago now, but just with some like using the technology, every single student in my class was able to like bat the ball, catch the ball, pitch the ball, do every all of those skills that we do in baseball. Everyone was able to do every single skill, and that was with the help of assisted technology. Sound okay?
David, catch it.
Ready position.
Oh my god. It's so fun. Bubble. Yeah, what are the bubbles?
It's not letting me leave YouTube. There we go. Okay. Okay, so an introduction to assistive technology. Uh, so there wasn't much written about assistive technology specifically in PE. That there were like, so I had to write this paper, which I'll share with you at the end. And I went out to the Sharjah in the United Arab Emirates to do a presentation for them. And so I did a bit of research about what was out then, and there's not much in terms of like using leaf blowers and stuff in PE. So I was kind of like looking at the definition of what assistive technology is, and a lot of it from the definition, it's like any piece of equipment that can like help to make things like accessible for kids with disabilities. But for me, I think in adaptive PE kind of has to be an electrical device, otherwise it's just adaptive PE, so it's us doing our jobs. So I kind of wanted to like redefine what assistive technology is in adaptive PE. So I'd say it was any electrical device or system that enhances the functional abilities of individuals with disabilities. So putting that electrical bit in separates what the assistive technology from us, what just doing our job as adaptive PE. And if people disagree with that, let me know, because that's just something I've been thinking about for a little while. So its role in adaptive PE can help students engage and actively participate, improving their learning and engagement. As you hopefully saw in that video, the students were able to pitch for other students. They were able to come in and bat, and they were also able to catch balls with the help of those helium balloons. And it promotes equal access, inclusivity, and diversity in education and PE and physical activity. Anyone want to do that? Or is it more? Do you go back? Okay, sorry.
Are you trying to go backwards? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
if you hover over the bottom. Oh, okay.
Can you see that?
The dot?
Where's it going? All right. Sorry. It's trying to take me somewhere else.
Do you have is it trying to take you to a link?
Yeah.
At the bottom of the screen. There you go. That should be the best way.
Yeah. I'm going to do that because I don't know where it was taking me. Okay. So one thing I was doing is like, what is this assistive technology doing? And for me, it's kind of like bridging students' ability and activity. So for students without disabilities, they have like, I like to think of it like input output. They go run up to a ball, kick it, and then the ball will like fly in the net. So if we separate that up into what the student's ability, the student's able to run, and he's able to swing his foot back, and he's able to like strike his foot through the ball and kick the ball flying in, kick the ball right. And then the output or the activity is that ball will fly into a net. Yeah, does that make sense? Or let me think of another example. A student will come and pick up a basketball, throw it up high, and then the activity or the output is the ball goes into the net. So what the assistive technology does is it bridges between the student's ability and that activity. So if you look at this little picture, this is the student without disabilities. He just picks up the ball, and the ball goes in the net. But the student here, what is his abilities? He's able to activate a switch with his head. And then we use a leaf blower to shoot the basketball into the net. And then it's the assistive technology that bridges that. And how I've broken down these sort of skills, there's lots of different ways you can use assistive technology, but I kind of wanted to focus in on like ball control skills, sports skills. So yeah, there's usually a switch, activation mechanism, and a device, which I'll go into in a bit more detail. So this is what that the example I gave looks like in real life.
Franklin! Push, Papa! Push!
So as you can see there, the assisted technology, the switch, the head switch, leading to a power link, leading into the leaf blower that bridged his ability to the activity. It's going to get annoying. Okay, I'm going back down here. Okay, so let's look at those things individually. So switch, select and position the switch based on the student's ability to best replicate the intended physical skill. So if, for example, I think I've put the video in, if the skill is bumping a volleyball, put that switch up high above the head so that it's mimicking the skill as closely as possible. If the student's unable to lift their hands up in the air, maybe you could think about positioning it something else, but these are just some of the things to like consider. Also, can you, if you're playing pickleball, can you make that switch look like a pickleball? Can they hit it with a paddle? So it's all about recreating that skill as closely as possible. And there's loads of different switches. The main ones I'll be talking about is jelly switch and a wobble switch. So if we look at that side, we pair the switch to the student's ability. And then if we go over to the other side to the device, we want something that's going to match the activity or the output. So choosing a leaf blower that's going to shoot the basketball into the net, or choosing a ping pong robot to fire a ping pong ball over a net. So we kind of like switch to match the ability, device to match the activity, and then we also need an activation mechanism or a switch hub. So I'm trying to think of like a universal term for these things. But basically, what's going to make the device switch accessible. So that'll be a power link. So anything that has a plug or a battery interrupter, anything that has batteries, you can switch adapt. So here are a few other types of switches: tilt switch, ultimate switch, plate switch, wobble switch. So yeah, match it to the student's ability. And then you can also jazz it up to match the activity as well, put a basketball on top, stuff like that. Sorry, I keep doing that. Don't know where. Okay, so the first type of switch is a jelly bean switch. So this is the one, if you haven't done much with assistive technology, you've probably at least seen these switches about. They come in different sizes, shapes. So I've just got this quick video, some ideas of how to use a jelly switch. I'll show that video in a different part of the presentation, so I'm going to skip by. Okay. Is the jelly switch? Yeah, I was talking about that volleyball frame. So for the set, you can put it up high, and for a bump, you can turn the switch upside down so the student can hit from below like they would a ball when they're bumping it. Also, you can just serve in as well, overhand and so I used a lot of tape on this one. So. And then this is my favorite type of switch. This is a wobble switch. So this is a flexible switch that's activated by moving the flexible arm and can help provide access with almost any gross motor movement. So there's a few different types. I think there's like 3 different types of wobble switch. So this is the first one. This is called a gooseneck. It's kind of got like suction cups in the bottom, so you can kind of like stick it to the floor or a table. So on this one, I stuck it to the floor, and then I've used a trainer. So you put a soccer ball in it, and then it's got like the elastic which I've tied around the wobble switch. So when the ball's kicked, it activates the leaf blower, which fires a lighter ball, sorry, into the goal. And the video's not working. Let me see. How's it gone? Okay, if I go off the screen, can you see what I'm doing on the screen, or is it only
Um, I can see your screen and you're not in present mode. And you've selected something on the screen, but I don't see I'm not sure what it is you're trying to do now.
okay?
Is it the video that won't play?
Yeah, it's just not. I'm not a fan of Canva. I'm trying it out for presentations, and it's just. Uh, Sorry, bear with me one sec. I'm trying to pull it up. Hopefully, it's only this one. Okay, are we back on the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, there we go. Oh, the keeper, what a save!
Pop it out there. Slide to the right. Slide to the left.
So that goalkeeper was the goalie bot 2000, and it's used. I made it so for Amazon for like $30. You can get those moving targets that it comes with like a little gun, and you shoot little balls, and it kind of moves. But I took the target off and put like a little goalkeeper on top, and he kind of just moves side to side. But it's one of my favorite ways to make soccer engaging.
Matthew, I'm sorry to interrupt, but people were asking about the slides. Sometimes we upload them into the iEcho platform, but will you be able to share your slides with us?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right.
I think I can.
Go ahead.
I think I can share us. I'll fix it. I'll fix all the videos and all
There's
the
no
stuff.
reason to, yeah, go ahead and do that, and we'll make sure that everybody gets them right now. We'll just focus on your content and look forward to your slides. So that's where we're at, folks. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt you.
Okay. I'll skip that one. So there's another one where I'll go back to presenting.
Is it because you're going
this
out of
one,
present mode and you can't get back to the recording? Is that what's happening?
No, just the video link's not working.
Okay, I got
I
you.
put it in, and it's so this one I've kind of put a badminton. It's kind of a clamp, and I've attached the badminton racket, so it's kind of on like a pivot. So the student it guides the student up to a wobble switch, which's got a birdie or a shuttlecock on it, and when they hit so it's just very like guided. All the student just has to kind of move the handle down, and it'll hit a shuttlecock, and then the shuttlecock will fly over the net. But I'll fix that for when I send the slides out. Oh my God. Sorry. You would have thought COVID, I would have been good at this presenting online, but never get used to it.
We all do the technology walk of shame occasionally. It's hard when technology is part of your title too. People expect it to be perfect, and we're here to say
Yeah.
it is not.
So yeah, there's the gooseneck, which is that suction cup one. The wobble stick, which is kind of like just which is I've used here actually in this. Hopefully, this video will work. So this video, I've turned a wobble switch and I made it into a pickleball paddle. So it looks like a pickleball paddle, but when the student grabs the handle, working on grasp, and moves it, it then turns on this little toy, which will then activate the. I'll let you watch the video and then I'll explain it. So yeah, so the wobble switch has been built into a paddle. So when the student touches the handle, it then turns on this little. I've used a battery interrupter, which turns on this. It's another moving target, but it's kind of like more like a windmill with like nets. And one of my favorite things was collaborating with my son on this one because I had. I don't know if you can see where I'm pointing, but this net thing was the other side, so I was kind of like hoping it will like drop in, and it's kept on bouncing out, and I tried like so many times, and then 1 out of 10 times it would like fall into the dog ball launcher and fire. And my son came and he looked at it and he's just like, "Why do you put it here?" And so it just like dropped in and it worked every time. I was just like, it's like a super like proud dad moment. He's already a better engineer than me. But yeah, I think that's a pretty cool one. So yeah, just the switch is the handle. The battery interrupter is the activation mechanism, and then the device is the net dropping it into a ball launcher. So that's made for like dogs to come and like just drop a ball in, but I kind of like the tray design, so like stuff can like kind of drop in. Could also put a ball on like a tee or some kind of tether, and it could knock the ball off, and it would then like go inside, and then it have enough power to like, get hit over the net. So yeah, I wanted to talk a bit about skill matching. So authentic skill development. The goal is not just participation, but skill acquisition. So if a student can hold a paddle, their adaptation should involve them striking with a paddle, right? Not just hitting a button. So on that jelly button switch, the student was shooting a basketball, and this is when I was first learning about assistive technology, and she would just hit a button, but that's not very authentic skill development, right? So uh, we'd want to put like something up high so she can get the more like this kind of like shooting movement if it was basketball, for example. More learning transfer, the closer the movement is to the real skill, the more likely the students can generalize and apply it to a game or activity. It's more engaging. It's more fun to hit stuff with paddles or baseball bats or stuff like that. And motivating too. And we modify to support the ability not to bypass it. So ensuring students can engage in movement patterns as much as possible fosters inclusion. And then also those cognitive and sensory connections. So the equipment that mimics the real thing. So a jelly switch that looks like a pickleball or a wobble switch shaped like a bat helps you recognize and interact with some familiar sports equipment. So assistive technology should enhance skill building, not replace it. Is the so I've got a few more pickleball ideas here. So more examples of like that skill matching. So think this is my son again demonstrating, but just kind of think like how it these adaptations are matching and the switches we've used are matching like pickleball and the actual skill development. Yeah, so hopefully you saw from that video, very close, like that skill acquisition, hitting the what jelly switch that looked like a pickleball, hitting that wobble switch that looked like a pickleball, or grabbing again that handle that looks like a pickleball paddle. So once we've got like a switch and we've like matched it to, so step one was like picking a good switch that kind of matches the student's ability, but also replicates the activity that we'll be doing too. We need to figure out how we're going to recreate that activity. So using a device like a leaf blower, ping pong launcher, and then once we've decided that, we'll look at how can we switch adapt it. So you do like the middle part last almost. So this is a power link. Power link is an activation mechanism that lets switches control plug-in electrical devices, connects a switch to appliances like fans or bubble machines, leaf blowers, managing power flow and with direct timed and latch modes. In adaptive PE enables students to activate powered equipment for greater participation. So if you wanted to get a leaf blower, make sure you buy in one that's got a plug rather than like, one of the gas powered or one of the battery powered ones you want, which you might be able to switch accessible. It's a lot more difficult than just getting one that you can plug in. So this is just an example outside of my kind of like ball sports thing, but this is turning a jelly switch into a target using the power link. So I plugged a light and a bubble machine. So the switch is behind that target. That's the power link. And the battery interrupter is a device that allows to switch control battery-operated toys or appliances. It's placed between the battery and the device's power connection. So you can kind of see here, it's just like a little metallic disc that you put in between where the positive terminal touches where you put the batteries. And you just kind of get it like wedged in there, and then the switch can be plugged directly into that battery interrupter. So these are pretty cheap. I think I get mine for free, but I think they're around $15, $20. But some of them are really flimsy and they can break really easy. So I wouldn't spend your own money if you can if you've got assistive technology departments, you can like buy you one. But here it's being used to switch adapt to ping pong robot. So it's really easy to make this ping pong. So if you want to, there's a little how-to video on that if you wanted to watch that. So here's another use of the battery interrupter. So I've switch adapted. I've made a switch operated golf putter using a air mattress pump. We gotta make sure it's one that takes like batteries, so you can get that battery interrupter in. But this is kind of like a little mobile. So I did this at Assistive Technology. This is from an Assistive Technology conference I did a couple of years ago.
A mattress pump, but it's got to be one that takes AA batteries. So you put the battery interrupter here, and then I've got another one of those splitters. So this is controlled by 3 different switches. So you turn it on. So you can control it. Do you know what it's called, Jeannie? So you can press this.
You were just holding it, right?
Yay!
Seriously. I'm gonna make it. You were a regular golfer.
Good
job. Yay!
So there's a switch on the top. That turns it on. Or you can squeeze
Pool noodle.
pool noodle.
Okay.
And the harder you squeeze, the more power it will be.
Squeeze it out, so you just squeeze on the top of it.
That is so cool.
And then I also wanted to show you another kind of so the middle part of the assistive technology. So a switch interface can be used to like control videos or like video games on a computer or a tablet. So I'm gonna skip this on to the laptop via a switch. So the socket switch can be hooked up to the laptop via a switch interface, and the students can play interactive soccer games. So I made this when I first got the assistive technology, playing around with it. But looking back, I would put the switch that looked like a soccer ball like by a foot, or have her kicking a ball for that game rather than her just pressing it. But that was when I first got into the assistive technology. So that's one example, and then there's a dance one as well. I'm just going to skip along too.
The fire's in their eyes and their words are really clear, so beat it. Just beat it.
So with this dance, we use one of Nicole McCoy's seated dance videos, Beat It, and the idea is just to, while we're having fun, get guys involved by beating the switch and letting it continue to play. So we're going to Velcro this meatball switch to the wall to work on our curl-ups.
6. Mama. Meatball. Mia. 7. Meatball. 8. Again, 8.
And the last thing I wanted to show you is this basketball game. So you can just kind of like control videos with the switch. So if the student's not sitting up, the video won't carry on playing until they've sat up and pressed that meatball button. Just kind of hopefully making it more engaging to get them do some of that work. So yeah, just some more examples of those devices. So I've used like the Franklin Pictures, the ping pong, this works leaf blowers. I'd highly recommend for leaf blowers. Battery operated air mattress, bubble machines. I've got one of these waving inflatable arm flailing man that I use a lot in PE as well. And then the last thing, that pickleball one, that was like a dryer for a car. So you plug it in and you use it to like dry your car, and then I added like that's see-through tube on top. So one of my favorite things to do is to go to Goodwill and just kind of like look for like random pieces of equipment I'll buy and like stash away and then eventually use like years down the line. How are we for time?
We have a full 30 minutes left. So there are a few questions, comments that we can go to, but you got time?
Yeah. Well, I'm nearly finished the presentation part. And then I've got a case study. Do we do that first and then the questions, or do you want to do the questions?
That works for me. I think that'll work for everybody. I see the heads nodding.
Okay. So yeah, the last thing about assistive technology, thinking about those mounting and positional supports. So there's some stuff that AbleNet and stuff already do, like the gooseneck clamps that you can kind of like pivot into place. Magic arms, which is something similar, but they're kind of more rigid, but you kind of like move them into place too. And then pivoting clamps, so I attach one to my PVC frame, and then I put a baseball bat on top, so it swings around and can hit switches. So yeah, just providing those supports for students who need it. I use a lot of Velcro and straps. So if a student is hitting a pickleball switch with a paddle, but cannot fully grasp the switch. I've got a picture of it today, actually. I'm gonna pull up quickly. You can use like a Velcro strap to kind of like assist with that. So can you guys see that? So it's just a Velcro strap around her wrist and around the lollipop paddle so she can like hold it and move it and then hit that switch or a balloon or whatever. But just say providing those extra supports just to ensure that we're meeting those, making it as authentic as possible for the student. And then the PVC frames. Most of the videos was kind of like my old frame, that blue one or the white one. Just something you can kind of use and you can like put it in different positions. But yeah, if anyone wants to like get a leaf blower or any of that sort of stuff, I'd highly recommend building your own like custom frame. And I've got some directions and stuff on my website, which I can share. But yeah, this is a new one, this yellow and blue one. So this has got like 30 different uses and like it's kind of like the idea was like Lego, you can kind of take it apart, build something new. So uh another thing I did, I made like a bowling ramp with a big foot that kind of like swings and like kicks the ball down the bowling ramp and stuff. But it's kind of like endless stuff you can build with these frames, and you can make it into a pickleball net, you can make it into a soccer goal. But there's anyone interested, there's like I've got that on my website too on how to build all these different PVC contraptions because they really are helpful. So you don't have to use like chairs or trash cans or like anything you've got. You can kind of have your frame to use. And then okay, so we're doing the case study first and then questions at the end. Okay. So kind of so there's no real so when I was writing my paper, there's no real like formative like assessment to kind of like match students' abilities with assistive technology. So I thought, what better to kind of like get some good ideas than like ask some PTs and other professionals. And so we've got a case study. Jake is 12 years old and eager to participate in PE. He has spastic quadriplegic cerebral palsy, which affects his movement and coordination. So what should we assess before implementing assistive technology in adaptive PE? Before introducing assistive technology, we need to understand each student's abilities. What key factors should we assess to ensure a best match between the student and adapted equipment? So I kind of want to open it up. You can turn a mic on. Like what sort of stuff should we be looking at when we're going to match a student with assistive technology? I can put it in the chat. What's ROM?
Is that range of motion? Yes.
Range of motion. Yeah, yeah. Okay, sorry, that makes sense. That makes sense. Vision, yeah. So like sensory stuff. Vision, like are they like sound as well? Is the noise of a leaf blower gonna kind of affect them too? Interest them, yeah. Motivating factors, what's gonna like get them moving? Sensory, yeah. Could we expand on coordination? Could we expand on like range of motion and strength? Like what sort of like areas? Could we be like more specific? Like which hand and elbow, yeah. Yeah, check out the lower extremity, knee, ankle. So if we're doing a kicking activity, are they able to move their foot? Are they able to move their toes? Let's get as close as we can. Yeah, so good example of that. What area the student has the most control, ideal switch placement. So the student who didn't really have functional control of his hands or feet, but he did have control of his head, so he's able to touch the switch with his head. And then a side preference, yeah, yeah. I actually hadn't thought of that, but that'd be a great one to do, like right or left footed or right or left handed. Okay. Yeah, I think we pretty much hit all that I had on my list. I'll go through. Ooh. So yeah, so this so the motor skills and strength, what movements can Jake reliably control? So we'd look at, head, neck, shoulder, elbow, hands, fingers, grasp, the lower extremities, like someone said, just like every part of the body that we could maybe get them to interact with a switch. So range of motion. So how far can he move his head, arm, and legs? Is the student able to fully swing a paddle or a bat, or can they just kind of like hold it and move it a few inches? So that sort of stuff is good for working out switch placement and stuff like that. Coordination and timing. Are they able to hit something moving? They're making it so it's not too easy for them, and stuff like that. Uh, Endurance, how long are they able to work for? Be a good thing to know too. Sensory processing, how's he responding to visual, auditory, or tactile cues? So on the volleyball one, there was some like visuals on there showing like the skill. And there's the sound as well. We don't want to be making them feel like really uncomfortable and not wanting to be there because like the leaf blower is too loud. And that's why I like that the car dryer as well, because that's a lot quieter than the leaf blower, which is very loud. Communication abilities, can they follow multi-step directions, or is it just like a kind of one-step direction type of thing for the skill? And then engagement and motivation, what keeps them interested? What's gonna want them have them working? So let's have a look at what Jake. So we assess these motor skills. He's got good head control and can move his head with precision. Some leg movement, but limited in strength and coordination.
Okay, I'll head out, I guess.
His grip strength is weak and has limited voluntary movement in his arms and legs. Range of motion in his head has full range of motion, allowing for consistent activation of a switch. His arms have restricted movement, making it difficult to extend or lift objects. And his legs have partial mobility, but he cannot generate strong force. For coordination and timing, there's difficulty with precise hand-eye coordination due to limitations. Can track moving objects visually, struggles with reaction speed. His head movement is controlled, so he may be able to time a switch activation. Endurance, can engage in short bursts but tires quickly. Benefits from frequent breaks. Low force activation methods are preferred to reduce fatigue. Sensory responds best to visual and auditory cues. You may struggle with fine tactile input, but tolerates light touch activation. Clear sound or light feedback can help confirm successful activation. And then he understands basic multi-step directions with visual prompts, communicates through gestures, head movement, verbal responses, simplified step-by-step instructions, improve his engagement. And then finally, he's highly motivated by sports and loves participating in group activities. He enjoys cause and effect actions such as making something move or light up, and he prefers team-based activities even with modified roles. So how do we select the right device and activation mechanism for Jake? So once we understand his abilities, the next step is choosing the right device for the activity and then selecting an activation mechanism that allows the student to interact with it effectively. So what device best replicates the intended skill? What does the device generate enough force or movement to complete the task? And what activation mechanism allows the student to control the device? So just going to have a quick look at Jake. So let's take it skill by skill. So soccer. What do we think for Jake for soccer? What could we do for him? If if you can turn your mic on or put anything in the chat, like what assistive technology you think would be good to use for Jake in soccer? Okay, so I've missed a few.
We've had success with adapting the chair directly with PVC, kind of a catch-all. You just make something out of PVC and Velcro it to the chair so he can maneuver his chair to manipulate the ball.
Kind of like a frame that goes around like the footwell.
Yeah.
And it kind of keeps it in. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen those. They're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. We've done like a soccer plow to work on soccer
yeah.
dribbling with the chair.
Yeah.
PVC pipe.
What about like shooting a ball? So I think he had some slight movement in his legs, right? He could maybe activate some sort of switch with his foot. But what could we use to like shoot the ball? Like what device? What's gonna create the force to shoot the ball in the net?
Yeah, I mean, using a leaf blower or something like that would help with that force if he was standing with a walker and had a slight swing to
Yeah.
activate the switch.
How?
How
Yeah.
much force does it take to move a ball? I don't know.
Yeah. No, that's another great point actually, which I'm going to put into like the ball selection as well. So choosing like lighter balls or like choosing the ball that like floats just the right amount and stuff. So yeah, for the soccer one in my video it was kind of it's like a foil ball from Five Below, so it's a super lightweight ball, so it's able to kind of like move pretty quickly once the air's blowing. So it said of something about um so how could we like make it more engaging for Jake to like playing soccer from I can go back. How can we make soccer more engaging for him? What did it say? So we can use the assistive technology, but how's it going to be more engaging for Jake? Yeah, I love that the leaf blower underneath, so he's kind of like you can place the ball like right by his foot. So yeah, it's not just switch placement, it's also where the ball's coming from. So if it's coming from underneath his chair and then go to the goal, I really like that idea. Maybe like a yeah, that's got me thinking. I love it. Football robot. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the robots. I don't know if you mean like American football or soccer, or English football. Uh, but yeah, Jake's very motivated by like being with his peers, right? So it's about like using this assistive technology in like a game. So you could have him you could have him in his with his plow dribbling around, and but then when it's his time to shoot, you can have like the leaf blower set up for him to come and take a shot, and you can kind of like adapt the rules. So it's like a regular game, but Jake's being involved too, and you'd need like a good group of kids who kind of like understand the situation and who are good working with him. But yeah, he's really motivated by that. He says he loves to participate in the sports, even if it's adapted. So that's kind of what I would do. I'd have a little shooting station, and then using his plow to dribble, and then he's playing in the whole game. All right, to say how are we for time?
We still have about 14 minutes.
Okay.
And we can hang on a couple if people still have questions.
Okay. Yeah. Let's. Has anyone got any other ideas for any of these? So we've got tennis or racket sports, golf, baseball, basketball. I'd love to hear people's ideas. That's part of the best thing, like learning what other people are doing too.
I would say like one thing I'm doing for APE is trying to strap a PVC pipe onto the wheelchair, kind of like almost like a lacrosse stick or like a paddle, so the student
Okay.
can maneuver the stick and it can make that swing phase to hit the ball on the ground. So they're using their upper ability because they can't use their lower
Oh, okay.
ability, if that makes sense.
How have you attached it onto the chair?
I'm in phase 1 right now, Matthew, so I haven't gotten to that phase yet of attaching it.
You should try one of those the clamps. It's like a pivot. There's a clamp on either side. You can put that on the chair, and then the stick with it on the other side, and it kind of pivots as well. And they're really cheap. Really cheap too.
Thank you.
And then
Try that.
yeah, I've got one of those big sticks with like a big foot on the end as well, which is kind of cool for like something like that. You know, when they're like kicking, they can like swing a big foot or a shoe attached to the end of a pole. Like, yeah, I like that idea. Like having little attachments you can like switch out. So bowling, yeah, I've seen that kind of bowling ramp, and I think my friend Jeff, he did like you can use like any kind of like blower that's going to be strong enough, but I think he used one that like blows up bounce houses. So when the button was pressed, it would just like blow, and they're kind of quiet as well. And it would just like roll the ball off down the ramp.
I see there's a conversation in the chat about jump ropes as well. So Wendy had a suggestion of something that she does, but do you have a preferred jump rope, Matthew?
Jump rope, yeah, I've got a few. So let me pull it up. I've got an article on my site actually. I can get out of here. I'm gonna share it in the chat, but got some good jump ropes.
And if you just drop the link to your, is it justadaptit.com? Is that the site that you're
Justadaptit.com,
referring
yeah.
to? Okay, all right. Excellent.
I'll find that jump rope one. Yeah, please check out the website. There's a lot of stuff. It's not just all assistive technology as well. So here it is. I'm lost. Two. Right, where's the chat? Okay. So here's the jump rope article. There's about 10 different ideas in there. And then
And so that's
basketball.
also where they'll find the step-by-step directions on some of the PVC devices or PVC setups, right?
Yeah, yeah. Let me find those as well. Okay, do we want to go? We can go to questions. Okay,
I'm
we're kind of
looking
already in
down
there.
the list. People feel free to, if you posted a question already and it wasn't quite answered, feel free to unmute.
Yeah.
And ask it out loud or type it in the chat again so we make sure that it rises to the surface. And Christy was asking, were you using Tar Heel gameplay for the meatball?
I was, yeah, for the sit up one and the beat it
meatball
dance. Yeah, I've actually, I think I might have them saved on my website. Let me see. Like it's already like ready to go. You just need to plug it in, and all like the timings are in there. Sorry. So Craig, you said about the wall mount. Is that one of the? It's kind of like a plastic that you put on the wall so you can like hang a basketball. You've attached that to a stander.
Yeah,
That's a
just
cool
it's
idea.
it's meant to mount to a wall, but it's the exact same right to like display a basketball, and we just
Yeah.
adapted it with a quick release to and mounted it to just just the actual holes on the dynamic stander, like the direct mount where the tray would be on a stander.
I'd love to see that. Like, what? How's the quick release? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, I got it from local wheelchair company, Bellevue Healthcare, and it's basically a quick release designed for, I think, like for cups on a wheelchair where it just has a receiver. It's just a slotted receiver, so we can pull it off, so he doesn't always have to have that on the stander if they're not doing basketball.
Ah, okay, so it's for the attachment. Okay,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought you meant like it would release the ball
Oh,
somehow.
no, no,
Uh,
he's functional enough so it holds the ball while he goes down the court, and then he can grab it and shoot.
oh, nice. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got one of them. I haven't used it much because I saw someone Nicole McCoy post about it. So, but yeah, you can use those for like volleyball as well. They can hold the
Yeah.
ball and you can kind of like hit up from underneath.
There's another question I see. Matthew, do you use a 3D printer for adaptations?
Yeah, it's something like I really don't want to have to kind of like teach myself how to do. So I really don't want to, but like I was hoping like other like, I could go. I know some people who are using 3D printers, so I've got stuff I want to print. I'm like, can you? I'm just hoping I can like pay someone else to do it because I kind of did that CAD design stuff when I was at school, and I was absolutely awful at it. So I'm kind of like scared to venture into it and like fail because I can teach myself some stuff. I've done like green screen and stuff, but with 3D printing, I just don't think I've got what it takes to do that.
And someone else noted that there's not adapted PE in a lot of areas now. And so whenever you're looking at, can you use these in gen ed PE environments was the question.
Do I use the assistive technology?
I would think it would be coordination with the gen ed PE person, so that you know what the activity is going to be, and it can be modified,
Yeah,
and then it can be brought in. Do
it
you
is.
have
It is
anything they want
tough.
to comment on with that? Do you use it in regular PE?
I haven't like too much, no. Because yeah, most of my students who need it are kind of like in like small groups. Trying to think if I've used it in the gen ed. I don't think I have, but I I think once like a student who comes up and I'm like, okay, they can really benefit. I think I'll definitely look into that. But yeah, just none of my students in the gen ed have like needed it. So
One thing that
but
a
yeah,
lot of
I'd love to
people
know.
comment about is funding. I hear you say you go to Goodwill and you look for things, and I think that maker aspect is probably the best way to get some of this done.
Yeah,
Getting something already adapted is people are see dollar signs.
yeah. Yeah, I think a lot of stuff I make myself or pick up bargain and Goodwill. I used to go to Five Below, but I kind of don't like that anymore. The stuff's too junky, it doesn't like last long. So yeah, I'd much prefer to like make my own stuff. I am lucky in a sense that years ago there's this non-profit who I was introduced to. And he's a fireman. He used to be a police. He used to be a PE teacher, but now he's a firefighter. And he started a non-profit. And he basically, I'll say, "Can you buy me this equipment?" And he usually says, "Yeah," and it's just like a really small like non-profit, and I'll get like probably about 1,000 to like $1,500 worth of equipment every year from him for the last few years. So I am really lucky. I've just like met this guy and we've like worked together for years. So
Well, and across our
Uh,
state, the resources are quite different. I hear some people talk about they have somebody on their team who's kind of like a maker guy, that if you have an idea, they make it and put it in play. But I don't think most people have access to a Builder Bob. And
I
so,
love that. I love that idea. I'm going to
and the
suggest
other
it to
thing
Brad.
that we've been hearing a lot about on the rise is the AT maker groups. And so, in partnership with high schools, we've got somebody over in High Desert who does a lot with the students at the high school where they have a situation. They have a student who can't have access, so the students design for the other students. And it's just a really impactful activity on both sides.
I kind of want that job.
Well,
I
and
want to be a
then
builder. Builder
and
Bob.
talking to somebody in, let's say in Baker City, they have a lot of people who work with horses. Well, what happens if you get injured and you can no longer comb your horse? Well, now I need another way. And so I know that's not exactly PE, but just looking at a situation and helping people come together to do just what you did with our case study. What would you do? This group's got
Yeah,
some amazing ideas. I'd love to see that. What other
yeah.
questions do you have? We've still got a few minutes. Again, Matthew will be sharing his slides with us. We'll make sure you get those. And there's his website, great ideas on there. What other questions do you have? What other things have you done that you think is something you'd like to share with the rest of us on here? Scott, I see you're unmuted. Do you have something you'd like to share?
Yes, I will. I will say that I know there's people on the call from various disciplines. Some of us are APE teachers, some of us are PE teachers, some of us are PTs. Um, I I know we went over 3 pages of all the considerations when you're thinking about how to use assistive technology in a PE environment. And where I found where I'm now is collaboration is the key because
Yeah.
the more heads that are involved in making that determination what is best for the student. I get a lot of input from our OT, our PT, our SLP. We're always working together to figure out where is that switch placement, where is the best place for this, where they're going to get the maximum participation from the activity. Without their help and assistance, not that I would be lost, but it just makes it go so much better. And it doesn't happen overnight. So there's a lot of trial and error with this
Yeah.
until you find that spot and that device. Um, I know in our APE department we didn't have a lot of budget for some of those like the power links. They're very expensive.
Yeah.
So having that collaboration with the SLP in your building who might have more access to those type of things, once they see it being utilized in PE, they're like, wow, okay, yeah, let me see if I can get another power link for you, or I can get you another switch. So I do believe that the collaboration is the key and getting everybody on board.
Yeah. There are also some like hacks that you can kind of bypass the power link. So you can get, it's like an extension cord, but it comes with an inbuilt switch, and it's for plugging in lamps, so you can turn it off with your foot. And they're like $10 on Amazon, and that bypasses, like $400, $500 worth of equipment. And it's not like ideal, you got lots of cables, but you can now like control something with a switch. You can put a ball on there, and then there's also like Bluetooth switches, plug sockets too. So on my website, if you type ATS hacks, there's like a couple of ideas of different like extension cords and stuff that you can do to like bypass like a lot of the expense, kind of ATS hacks. But yeah, collaboration is yeah key. I'm lucky I have assistive technology coaches at every school in our county. So years ago, I said, I'm interested in assistive technology. They came with like 3 buckets full of switches, power, everything I needed. And yeah, I haven't like looked back since. So.